Big Baron's wheels here in the LCK. And I think Faker will get a vote or two just because of that play. The rest of the game, he was
Que
just
isso? Ah,
putting
mano.
Faker down in the
Olha meu
lane.
PC apertando.
Didn't have
Nossa,
too
tem uns
much of an
coraçãozinhos.
impact
Olha meu
in
PC
some ways,
apertando atrás
because
aqui,
like
velho.
game one, there weren't very
Olha lá.
many team fights
Meu
because
PC
of the
aperta
impressive
atrás
control that
sozinho. Eu
Guma
vou
and
deixar até
Carry
aqui,
set
velho.
up, not
Tô
only
nem
in
aí.
the bottom
Calma aí.
two, but around the map.
Como é que faz? Como é que eu fiz pra deixar o bagulho... Ué? Como que eu deixei tela cheia e selecionado aqui ao mesmo tempo, velho? Ah! Isso é um abacaxi cortado R$20 do Soma Shipment. Como pode? Ah, ele jogou bem mesmo, mas... não é possível, velho. Não, na real, os caras... Mas vai ficar equilibradaço ali. Realmente, o cara falou que se os caras não ganham o bot lane aqui, não tinha jogo. Não tinha mesmo. Não tinha. Tá, beleza.
He spent 3/4 of the first 14 minutes in other lanes away from Gumayusi, so like this, where he's punishing Doran again and again and again. He did this, he set it up several times. Very split vote here actually, Guma getting 3, and the Faker votes as well, tying here.
Olha só, nossa, teve 5, velho. 5 votos de suporte, 3 de AD Carry e 5 no mid? Ué? Ué? Oxi, eles estão empatados. 5 do Carry e 5 do Faker. Ué?
I didn't, but I still think that this is it's definitely a validating vote. I think that he was absolutely fantastic. Carrier just really did land the bone skew as necessary, but we need to talk about the fact that the draft wasn't necessarily a win from T1, and now they have to move back to the red side, which they were a little bit shakier on. So we'll have to see whether they're going to be able to perform the same sort of in-game magic to pull themselves back in.
A água não tem marca, velho. Que isso? A água não tem marca. Alô, Cristal. Alô.
I love how Game 2's drafting from T1 showed that maybe it's not meta, maybe it's high risk, but it's comfort, and it's
Os caras tudo
very
igual.
unique.
Não, olha esse cara do meio, olha o cara da esquerda.
Its own very unique,
What the
specifically
fuck, o cara é
Gumayusi
igualzinho.
carry away, where you have this bottom side duo of
cara é
two
igualzinho.
players who love, like if it doesn't work out, you lose the game. But it worked out so hard. They played it so well, and this goes to show
Ué,
even
por que
at
o
the highest
treinador tem
level
que
here
vir
in the LCK,
de
sometimes
terno?
what you like to pick and what you enjoy to pick is the best
Nossa,
option.
velho, que bosta.
That's exactly like why
Uma coisa que eu não quero é trabalhar de terno,
I
velho. Na
shouldn't get
moral
as
mesmo.
upset about these blind picks as I
Só
do,
trabalho em
because
casa
there are
agora.
so many players, Doran and Zeus, perfect examples, that just absolutely love playing the Gnar. They feel very comfortable there. They understand how to win so many different lanes and what they need to do in order to do so. And so therefore, you can understand why they're going back towards these picks over and over again. I prefer it if they didn't. But I do understand why it's happening. We hop into the draft here for the deciding game.
Yeah, I think Gnar probably going to be very high in this game too. As Gnar is a strong pick in general in the LCK, but when you have the ability to pull the resources bottom side with the Draven and Pike, then obviously you're not worried about playing counter
Vai
pick
banir
as
a mesma
much, especially
merda,
when it's a 2v1
Aqui
top,
vai banir
because the Pike is up there half the time.
Zeri.
So we see the Poppy ban once again.
Puta,
towards
mas
Peanut.
aí
Peanut's blue side
vai
Poppy
passar.
is the scariest one, as we will once
Vai
again
passar.
see Seraphine and Kalista removed by Genji.
Yep. I actually think Poppy just in general
Tá errado
is,
isso aqui, velho.
pretty scary.
Tem que
I
banir
wonder,
Lúcia, velho. Não
I
pode
mean, I
banir
just
um.
wonder if Chovy gets his Azir
Também
again,
tem
because
que
Genji
não
could just
banir
ban
os
Corki
dois.
here and be like, do you want to give Lucian?
Vai passar corte,
it's a
então
good
ferrou, velho.
question. Because also, if it's Corki and Azir that are both
Draven?
banned,
What the
Draven
fuck?
going to be banned. I love this, because this
Não, vai
sets Genji
passar
up for a
Corki
potential
aqui.
Lucian first pick, if they want to.
Ah,
Because
mas
the
é bom
Draven,
que passa
a
Azir
fantastic
também,
answer to the
então
Lucian.
tudo bem.
One of the reasons why we didn't see
Lucian,
Lucian or Zeri last
baniram
time
bem
around,
agora.
T1
Não
recognizing
trollaram,
this,
não
will
ban-
ban
tá
it
bom.
away immediately. But
Aqui é
that means
Cork ou Azir.
Corki and Azir
Burst.
are both left.
Azir,
I
Cork.
think
Não sei.
if I'm picking for both teams, I think Genji wants to have Azir. I'd rather them have Azir, and I think
Acho
T1
que vai
would
ser
rather
Azir.
have Corki, and we might just have that handshake here. Even though Faker
Renata as well.
Yeah, Faker is such a famous Azir player himself, but this season it's been all
Pegar
about
Azir
Chovy
vai
Azir.
tomar um pau
See if he
depois.
does
Hein?
lock it in here.
Ah
Maybe the
lá.
Corki
Ih!
actually, so Genji are gonna pivot there.
Estou errado.
Jesus
Okay.
Cristo.
Ué.
Very interesting. Now T1 can look at
Vai tomar um Azir então na cara.
potential
Ah não,
Ahri
Nard
angle if they want to. It's a lot of Ahris into Corki
não.
recently.
First pick Nard
Now gonna
não,
be picked up and
Não,
looks like it
você tá
might
maluco,
just
você tá
be
maluco.
Lissandra again.
Não!
Faker gonna go back to it.
Azir tá
And
up
what
pelo
ain't broke,
Azir,
don't
meu
fix.
Deus. O cara é
They
uma lenda
won't
de
have
Azir, velho.
access to the
Ah
Draven
não.
this time around. So that snowball potential of the bottom lane not gonna quite be as prevalent.
So I think the Gangplank pick here makes a lot of sense for Gen G.
Sabe que antigamente o Faker tinha um mid, tipo, substituto junto com ele, tipo, não substituto, os dois eram, os caras ficavam trocando entre o Faker e um outro cara. Teve uma época que eles colocaram uma final de LCK, eles colocaram só o outro cara, que o meta era melhor pra, tipo, o Faker jogava mais de assassino, esses negócios, e o outro cara manjava mais de maguinha. E aí Azir tava no meta, o cara já era o melhor Azir do mundo já. Aí o Faker aprendeu a jogar de Azir e tirou o cara do teu. Praticamente isso.
Meu Deus.
Sei, não tá quente. Ai, mano. Não, Nidalee não. Não. Pega Nidalee não, pelo amor de Deus. Oh, caraca, de Nidalee pra Lee gostei. Você é maluco pra jogar de Lee velho, mas o dele funciona, o dele tem o fé. Calma, tô compartilhando a tela errada, né? Não.
Não, tá certo.
Não, mas tá sem som, né, bro?
Agora tá sem som.
Não, som então
Mas antes tava com som.
Só uma mula. Ué, foi agora?
Oxi. Peraí, volta no YouTube. Ué?
Tá com som?
Não. Antes tava.
Ué? Peraí. What the fuck? O Discord pode ser duro às vezes. Não, tá com som?
Não.
Nossa, velho.
Discord é
bugadaço, peraí. Ah, agora tá com som. Se não tiver com
Agora.
som...
Not allowing any playmaking here for Keria, but this does leave open the Renata.
That Renata that you were talking about is definitely one
Nossa, os
that
caras
I'm a
baniram
bit
o
curious
Pike, velho.
about.
Nossa senhora. Olha
Respecting
os
the
bandos dos
Bard
caras.
and the Pike a little bit more. Gumushi is just going to
Ezreal,
think
Renata,
about
Passou o
locking
Z.
away the
Ah não, mas o
Ezreal.
Ezreal do Maestro é meio estranho, velho. O champ dele é o mais estranho, esse Z aí.
Yep, they just want to get that pushing lane, yeah.
Yeah, like
Sou letre.
even Yumi is also open here for Keria if that's
Pô,
what they
verdade,
wanna
tem
go
Yumi
with.
open,
They'll
hein?
see what Gen
Ó,
Comp is first.
existe um mundo
T1
que ele
fans
pega
just
Yumi
got
aqui,
a whole
inclusive.
bunch of PTSD. Just there, Wolf, just be careful.
Gragas?
Won't be
Caraca,
Yumi
Gragas
chain,
cai bem
okay?
aqui,
So,
mano.
like, let everybody relax.
Nossa, o Gragas
This is
desmonta o Lee
Gragas,
Sin,
potentially,
velho.
for Doran.
Puta, mano.
One
Ah,
of my
pega Gragas
favorite
não.
picks into the Gnar, but we've seen it not necessarily work as a counter pick.
It's very safe.
Gragas já é um
It's very
Gragas top
boring
top.
in that regard,
Já
but I
não
think
tem
as
mais.
Gen G, you're just trying to bore T1 to the late game where you actually are
Counter-Strike.
relevant, scaled, and very frustrating to play around. As it will be the Yumi, it looks like here. I mean, there were three great
Agora
options,
tomou
right? The Renata
Yumi mesmo,
pick
Yumi Z.
that was
Olha
most
só.
common and is very strong into dive, but guess what? Gen
Aí,
G's
ó,
not
se
really
não for
running
que ia
that
jogar
good
torneio,
for
tá jogando já.
so not as strong in this case. Good for the lane, but
Abandonou o
Yumi
Flex
gives
das
you both
estrelas mesmo.
attack
É,
and defense,
brincadeira.
gives you heals and extra sustain. The Karma
Ih,
can
o
block
Cork
the
não vai
shields
poder
and
editar
obviously running
teleporte.
around the map very quickly. It is very difficult to escape that if you're a poorly positioned Corki player, but that's not Chovy, that's not Ruler on this Senna. I think the Yumi is great because, yes, her healing is somewhat nerfed, but if she builds Moonstone here, which she almost definitely will,
Nossa,
you're
mano, foi...
always going to be able
Olha os
to
desenhos.
somewhat
Foi ela que
match
fez
that
esse
sustain from the
Ou será que não
Senna
é
queues
desenho?
that are coming through. And
Será que isso aqui é desenho?
all
Nossa, mano, se isso aqui for desenho... Presente, né? Isso é louco, mano. Rapaz.
always going to be able to
Going to give them a strong lane once again.
Travou.
We'll see whether it's going to enough
Presente, se isso aqui for
ahead
desenho,
of
presente.
this
Mano. Isso é
Senna
louco.
Tom Kench, which does, you know, scale into infinity and beyond. And speaking of scaling,
Low
that is
bark.
exactly what Gen G has. I think the Viego is the only thing that's a little bit out of theme when it comes to the composition. I would have personally loved a Trundle, but you
Trundle.
can't get everything that you want here. As
Trundle
T1,
aqui? Não,
comfort
não,
across the
não,
board,
não.
right? And mid-game domination is what they're aiming for here, and I think that they definitely have a lot of avenues to get there. We'll see how it goes as we hop onto the Rift for the deciding game. Right, yeah, T1 fans, they heard the fact that Genji were quite loud last night, and they're like,
Geração Jogos
"Can't
time
have that."
1,
They
Geração
were
Jogos
booming
vendedoram
about
amendoim, a
Geração.
chuva, a régua e derrentes que editou errado o legend.
Exciting draft here, I think,
Até
because of
vendi
again the comfort for
Zeus LOL, Wonder LOL de Lee Sin.
Faker, you know, owner on his Lee Sin. He's got 2
Aqui acabou já
losses,
pros caras já.
in his
Lissandra.
career on it.
Que
One of them
Lissandra?
was this
Faker?
season.
Berber.
4-1 on the pick right now, and
Gumayushi e
it's
Keria
just
Counter Strike.
T1 once again crafting a draft that makes a lot of sense, but also really extenuates the strengths of their players.
Os caras dando
It's
zoom
a
aí.
lot of comfort.
Qual
And
skin
for
que é
game
essa?
number
Você tem essa
3,
daí?
in, you know, our match of the week, and honestly, match of the
É, não. Essa aí é da livraria. Esqueci o nome.
Saraiva.
Biblioteca. Saraiva.
Yu Saraiva.
Mas não tem
Yes,
essa
I
não.
did. So Valdez and Chronicle
É com
both
chroma essa
their
aí.
thoughts,
Tá com
and
chroma?
they
Ô,
do
louco.
Tá com
believe that
chroma.
Genji's draft is
Forte.
a little bit superior. Valdez has given it a 55-45 in favor of Genji, saying that T1, there is just a little bit too much of an onus on them to get control in the mid game, and Genji should just be able to comfortably
Ó, os profissionais não
outscale.
pegam uma não, ó. Olha lá.
But he says that if Gumi
Os profissionais não pegam não, hein. Ó,
it should just be
errou o farm.
T1 walking away with it. And
Os profissionais não
Chronicler has
pegam
said something pretty
almas.
similar.
Olha só,
60-40
velho.
though, in favor of Genji on
Vou
his
jogar de
side.
Lissandra agora,
And, yeah,
mano. Aqui
it's a
tá
little bit more
pegado,
about
velho.
that
Pelo visto.
needing to get the mid
Ah, é
game snowballs
competitivo. Tô
rolling
nem aí.
for T1 to find the victory. And I think I'm on the same page.
I think so too. Like the mid game
São
here is
5 alto
so
já,
strong for
gente.
T1, but they have to get to a place obviously where they have strengths enough to use those advantages well. Obviously, because Genji has a comp that scales, but it doesn't mean that it just has to default like sit around. It can be very impressive, and they have a lot of engage options with Tom Kench. They have the Gragas, right, and can be very snowbally with Viego in team fights. And Lissandra is not going to be able to just put on free pressure here in the lane. And Lissandra is not going to really be relevant until level 6.
Nossa, os caras estão tomando de... Nossa, os caras estão tomando porra já. Caras bons,
For
mano.
me, I just don't think, like,
Ué.
a lot of people discuss the Senna versus Ezreal, whether it's Ezreal Karma or Ezreal Yumi, etc. The Senna has handled this pressure also
Nossa,
very
que...
well.
Meu
Nice
Deus do
trade.
céu.
Yeah.
So I'm not as worried about that as I am worried about how much Zeus can do in this matchup where
Zeus
Gnar
low.
has traditionally been a counter to
Só jogou
Gragas
11, só de
this
Gnar.
year,
What the
and actually even last year as well. And this Gnar is going to be so powerful at actually setting up for Faker and Gumusi to
10 de
pop
gra...
off.
Oxi.
Obviously huge true shot
Win
barrage,
rate
and combos are all
80%,
set.
cadê a
Faker's gonna have a lot
podre?
of power in these mid-game
Não,
fights before
podre
Toby
não tá
starts
mais,
to
né?
really get those items online. I think Zeus might just be the real
Cadê o Lee
hero
Sin?
in
Cadê o Lee
this
Sin?
game
Mostra o Lee Sin.
once again with his Gnar priority.
Lee Sin
Potential
chinês da
linchpin here
Coreia.
is Chovy taking a lot of damage from Faker here in the mid lane. The Lissandra power in the laning phase working out very effectively as Peanut is looking for this. Body slam. Ooh, flash. Not quite in range, but that stun will land.
Morto
And
low,
the
mano.
barrel's going to slow down Zeus. His flash is on cooldown.
Jogou bem,
That
mano.
means he's dead. Peanut
É.
going to pick up that kill, and Genji off to a great start.
Yep. Looks like there was some debate for just a second there whether it should have been Doran or Peanut who ends up picking up the kill. I think both is great, but I'd rather the Viego have it to further snowball some of the advantages that Genji can play around to stave off pressure in this early game. As yeah, this lane is going well CS-wise. You can see a pretty significant lead
CS-wise,
here.
yeah.
About like 5 to 10 is going to be the advantage here for Guma and Keria on the bottom side. Yep. But I like this gank timing. They not only get the flash, but also the kill there, and it was Zeus' best effort, to try to dodge that stun coming through from the Viego, but it's just too much damage, Conqueror procs, and now your Gnar power in this lane is somewhat neutered. He is obviously just going to be able to teleport back to lane and start putting on that same pressure, but it's not the same strength that he had moments before.
No, I'd agree. I'd 100% agree. Definitely a good start for Genji. Not the end of the world for T1 though, as we have a look at this gank one more time from Peanut's perspective.
Yeah, from Peanut's perspective.
Ele joga mais já dela, mas ele joga mais esponjado do que nós, velho. Olha isso. Mó bardona.
Looking for the waiting for the flash for the stun.
안쳐도 맞을 듯? 잡은 거 같은데?
I think we got him.
잡았다.
Got him.
야 개꿀. 좋았다
Basically
현준아.
sick. This is the best way to describe what he said in Korean. There's no real translation, but he was like, that was pretty nice.
G-Sun's addition is like, it was easy. Easy. And looked like it. Definitely pretty elementary there.
Ai, tomou.
See whether Zeus can get some revenge. As Doran didn't even need to use flash in that moment.
Nope. And Genji will get bottom side control here too, as well as this Drake. And The first few levels, Ezreal Yuumi can put some pressure on, but it really fades quite quickly. As Faker's coming over here with level 6.
Yeah, Valkyrie comes on through. Peanut is
Não roubou. Ele tentou roubar, mas não roubou, velho. Opa, mas tem jogo aqui. Calma lá.
Nossa.
Tem
Corre atrás do Diego. Corre.
Foi atrás. Acho que não. Acho que não dá. Não tem flash. Nossa, não acredito, velho. Ele não conseguiu roubar, velho.
You know, without
Mas ele
six,
foi
I
no
thought this
timing bom.
might be the wrong call here for Faker, and Owner tries to go in for the
Putz,
road
que
steal,
bosta.
isn't successful,
Muito
but
quase.
is able to escape, and then Faker can use his claw to come back.
Se fosse
in.
eu
That was a
roubava,
really nice
mentira.
burst there from T1. So, arguably in the Summoners aspect of this, they do come out ahead. Genji take a pretty significant lead with that kill they had earlier on the top side. Doran loses only a few minions up here top side when he returns back to lane. Yep, and you know, at the end of the day, that solo Drake can be very important for the pacing of this game because that means at worst case, Genji has bought themselves 5 minutes.
No, precisely, and I think that that's the main thing, right, that Genji are going to be looking at, and I think that we got a glimpse of what T1's comp is going to be capable of, right? Like, if Owner, like, had his kick at that stage, then that is, like, team-wide situation.
Oh yeah, Faker
Genji,
too.
like,
He has ult, like,
yeah,
100% you win that so easily.
Mas queimaram muita coisa, isso é bom, mano. Queimaram muita coisa. Faker tá com uma puta pressão agora.
Ruler is
Isso
looking
eu
to
gosto.
flank Gumushi here, was predicting the arcane
quase.
shift, and Gumushi's counter to that was not arcane shifting. I like that a lot.
Yeah, definitely as the Ezreal, you have the agency here to, if you're patient, just wait and then react instead of just blindly arcading, shifting, and panicking. So really nice job there from Guma to not do the panic move, and we'll just get out for free. So scary moment potentially there. Did of course have flash available too, but probably would have died if he did get snared
Nossa,
there.
o Sam tá começando a me consumir. Meu Deus.
Yep. Well, I like how Lehens and Ruler are going to try to hold this wave here, deny cannon, do what they can. Doran is very happy to just sit up here in this lane and play weak side.
Ih, olha lá, morto LOL, mano.
Chovy. Yeah, Owner's gonna make his way in. There's the claw as Chovy doesn't have cleanse. Faker's gonna find it, and yeah, this is a really dead call. Nothing he can do about this without flash or cleanse. Owner doesn't even have to kick. Yeah, that holds onto it. The power post.
Nossa, eu vou começar a jogar de Lissandra agora. Daí parem-se para ver o de jogo. Eu jogando de gelo.
Geloló.
Geloló. Loló.
Giló. Eita! Loló. Eita, Rizão.
Foi.
Loló, que usa.
O que é isso?
Você não sabe o que é Loló?
Pra mim é aquele doce lá, mano, lá que vem na caixinha da Nestlé.
Eu também. Loló é uma droga.
É? Rapaz.
Não,
Sabia não.
Cheirinho da Loló ou Loló é o nome popular de muito persiste preparado clandestinamente baseado em clorofórmio e éter.
Clorofórmio? Como assim, cara? What the fuck? Nossa, é pra pagar mesmo. Nossa.
Sim.
Mano, tá bom, né? Sabia não, mano. Agora tô sabendo.
Ah, é lança perfume. O meu nome.
Ah, isso aí foi no mínimo criado em 2022, mano. Porque não é possível, velho.
Não, lança perfume. Mano, tá ligado?
Não, não, mas foi falando Loló.
Ah, tá.
Isso aí deve ter criado em 2022.
É que é a mesma coisa.
Ah, tô ligado, mas esse tema aí no mínimo foi criado em 2022. Eu não posso estar tão velho assim.
Combinação de éter, clorofórmio, cloreto de etilo e essência de perfume.
É pra pagar mesmo. É louco. Nossa, olha onde tá o Lee Sin. Rapaz, eu gosto, hein. Eu gosto dessa jogada, hein. Já começou a se mexer, já. Faker já foi. Nossa, cancelado.
Como de atuação Faker.
Nossa, morreu. Tchau.
delivered into the snare, and it's all too easy here for the Genji bottom lane.
Que skin bonita da cena, mano.
Power here. You can push these minions in and look for
Nossa, deve
plates.
ser
Look
caro
at
pra
Viego
desgraça isso aí,
rotating
velho.
down. Now Owner is here with a
Ah, eu nunca vi nenhum
This
push.
is
Ou
basically a
vi.
3v2 that we're looking
Nossa,
at
isso
here.
aí não vai
Faker
dar bom,
trying
velho.
to come over.
There's so many minions here. His owner's taking a
Não vai
lot of
dar bom,
damage.
não vai dar
Faker going to be
bom. Sai daí,
blocked off here
mano.
by
Meu Deus, só
Peanut.
farm.
Guaranteed charge,
Sei que tem como.
100% here now for
morrer.
Genji to drop down. True Shot Barrage is going to try
Ah,
his
tem
best to
como,
dodge, but
tem
will
como.
not be
Cada um
successful. Will help clear these minions, but the
Beleza.
Yeah.
Rift Herald crashes through. Lots of extra gold here now.
Nossa,
to the
travou
bottom
tudo,
side.
dude, assim.
Two
O cara
plates
tremendo
come
as
through.
bases.
I believe that at least Lehens and Peanut picked up those. Otherwise, it might have just been Peanut, but that's fine. Body slam.
Parece que tem um jogando na parte de cima normal, velho.
He's been using that on cooldown as
Okay.
Nas generally do.
Agora tem um aí pra parte de cima. Agora é.
Lehens and Ruler really want to force a fight onto Owner
Nossa.
early on to
Ele
take
já tomou mal.
away, but package is ready.
Yeah.
Doran has to take the long and slow
Tá aí.
path down here. Zeus
Não, mas é uma
teleports
parte
to
ruim de
the
mapa, viu?
topside to
Não
get
gosto,
some
né?
plates for 314. This is the tightrope that Genji have to walk
Nossa,
right now without
proibi tomar
massive
foguete.
control
Que
on the
isso,
map.
Faker.
And they
Calma.
walk it well. Corky
Yeah.
package is
Chovy não
committed
tem
here, but
mundial.
you've got the Chovy
Eles não têm
now,
Major.
and there should be
Pior
two
que
Drakes
o
to
Faker
lead
tem
now for Genji.
3
I keep
Major,
hearing,
né? Que é mundial,
Lord of the
né?
Rings quotes in things that you're saying.
What did I say this time?
You have
Essa
no
frase
power
realmente
here.
tá verdadeira. Calma, Faker,
I
eles não
heard
tem
that one and
Major.
I was like, Saruman?
Essa
Is that
frase
you? I don't know. Maybe I'm losing my mind. It's the intensity of the series, I think. It's
Pior que o Sr.
100%
Régua
real.
tem. O Sr. Régua tem
Sturdy with
Major.
the package.
O Sr. Régua
Try and
tem
get some
Major.
damage down, but good wave clear here from Faker.
Nossa.
Alessandro.
Nossa, ele não toma foguete,
And,
velho.
Toby's not gonna be able to find that
The
plate.
package
Nossa.
here looks wasted if you just
Esse,
think about
esse
what
cara,
it
ó,
did
o
in
Sr. Régua tem
terms of the
Major.
damage it
Ganhou do
got,
Faker,
how it
inclusive, o
didn't kill
Major.
the anything,
F.
but actually it was valuable
Nossa.
because it was able to deter T1.
Roubou o Major.
Roubou o Major.
Ooh,
Nossa!
Roubou o Major.
That is,
Nossa! Meu
as,
Deus, velho.
Score
Trocação
has
de ult
had
nenhuma
many of
delas
those
acerta.
in his time.
Bagulho
He was
feio, velho.
also the best Gragas that we've ever had in the jungle.
Agora tomou, mas também tava dando base. Ah,
Sometimes,
nossa,
sometimes
se
you
não tá
just
dando
wanna
base, não toma.
Yeah, celebrate. Indeed. And if they
Que
had gotten a
beleza.
kill there or forced a flash
Ah, ele
from
tá
Zeus,
comprando
it was
zonas
amazing.
primeiro?
I think he would have died. Could have been a nice cast attempt there
Nossa,
from
pera
Doran
aí,
if it had-
mano.
well, it was a nice attempt. If it hits,
Quase que eu
it could
aperto
be
pausa
good.
aqui sem
By the way,
querer de novo.
it's a
Talvez eu apertei o
celebration
pausa
of the
do
lead
cotovelado.
that Genji have is what I'm getting at here. There is
Quase que eu
space
dou
in
de
the
novo
party
aqui.
because Genji have taken a pretty significant lead.
Tá ligado aquele botão que eu tinha no teclado de desligar
Yeah,
o
I mean, they
PC?
have a comp
Sim.
that sort of naturally will win late.
tem
So
sido?
Eu não tenho mais.
you manage to
Não tem
find,
mais?
the beginning of the
Graças
game
a Deus.
is
Você arrancou ele ou
definitely
comprou o
a
teclado?
good one.
Comprei o teclado.
Speaking of
É
the, double
um
drakes
que
as
tem
well, I mean, we mentioned how
LEDzinho
valuable the
bonitinho.
first one is. Well, the second one,
Forte.
How
as
much
you
for
may guess, is also pretty good.
Teclado de
Yeah.
mecânico
Zeus
LEDzinho é
gets
bom, hein?
himself another plate
Não
here on
sou,
the
não
top
ligo
side,
tanto pra
Chovy
LED.
and a
Eu
Valkyrie.
sou
So
gamer
we
de
talked about
verdade.
this yesterday, and I don't know, it seems like it's almost like there is something
Vira
deeper
até
going
meme,
on with the Drake
principalmente na
algorithm
ETEC
here.
lá,
I
velho.
don't know
É
if he's
tipo,
really random. Is
qualquer coisa os
the,
caras tem
Corki
RGB.
into No Drake Mountain
Isso.
Soul, where T1 could actually stack a
Ah,
full
ele
Mountain
anda eles
Drake,
mesmo.
Mountain
Tá,
Soul
tá,
in
tá,
the late
beleza.
game. Gives them
Eu
actually
gosto de
a
um
lot of
Lineage
late
aqui.
game power.
Ooh, I
Que
like that.
Ignite.
So Faker's
Falou.
gonna switch back to teleport.
Yeah, he's gonna switch back to
É...
teleport, and this is going to be a lot of plates going down.
Você tem
that
ideia qual que é o
Ezreal is
switch
not
do
getting
seu
in the
tecladinho
mid
aí?
lane. Doran has cast back up, does have flash.
Qual que é o bagulhinho
Yeah.
tipo embaixo da tecla? Qual cor?
Doran can throw that cask anywhere
Pera, quê?
at any moment.
O seu teclado aí
This is
embaixo da
just a
tecla, qual que é a
macro
cor?
win
Você
for
tem
Genji
ideia?
on both
Whoa.
sides.
Tipo
Doran's
do bagulhinho? Do
just
switch?
after owner. He's not your
A
lane
cor
opponent, Doran. You should be
é...
That's the
são
gentleman's
várias,
agreement.
tá?
League of Legends, okay?
Ué.
First turret blood, and
Yeah.
owner gets nothing.
Ué.
You're
Eles já mandaram foto aqui
now
no
they're
nosso
under
servidor.
threat, and the whole time,
Eu
yeah, there's
tô-
a push
Vamos
here
ver
in
outro.
mid. Chovy got all the wave. They don't actually,
Sim.
I believe, get an extra plate. There's the fadeaway right before as Unleashed teleports come online for everybody. And yeah, maybe you get this turret, which I think they should.
Aí, ó, mandei no chat.
An outer turret in mid lane is more
Ah, tá,
valuable
pode
than outer
crer,
turrets,
tá.
inside
Chique, hein,
lanes.
mano?
Yeah, but
Foi
in
bonito
terms
mesmo.
of gold trades, that's not what you want to be doing as T1. They wanted to make that
Ah, ele fica
dive
trocando de
succeed
cor ou ele tá
topside. They
estático? Você
wanted to
colocou ele
try to
estático assim?
Tá
Doran
estático.
get
É, só tem essa
both
opção,
mid
não.
and
Ah, só
top.
tem essa
They only
opção?
get
Achei que
value
tinha
mid.
mais.
It's
Pode crer.
traded for value here for
Forte.
Rulers. Got his Umbroglaive now, a lot of extra vision control.
Ooh, Lehens. Oh dear.
Want to walk into this one?
This is not where you want to be, my friend. He is going to ward
Okay.
first. Definitely the right call. Not going to get engaged on.
Does have his ultimate and Flash coming back online.
Yeah, and
Ué,
Oner's
foi,
gonna
voltou?
steal away that
Morreu,
Rift Spell. That
morto
was
logo.
beautifully done. He might pay for it,
Faker.
though, as Faker decides that he wants to take matters into his own hands. The
Nossa.
kick is
Ih.
going to be there potentially, but
Oh.
Peanut is going to be devoured. The Tom Kench is taken down. Heartbreaker to get over the wall. The flash
Caraca,
comes
que flash
out
bom,
as
mano.
Oner was soaring after him, and it's just not going to be
Como que
enough.
tem gente que
T1
critica
answer with a
o
beautiful
Lee Sin, velho? Não é
skirmish in the
possível, mano.
river.
Olha que tipo
Control
bom,
Ward
mano.
there in the brush is the
Ele é tão bom
MVP of
assim,
this
não.
play. T1 playing around it so
Mas
beautifully there and setting a trap
na
for
mão desse
Genji
cara
as they
funciona,
rotate
velho.
in.
Como pode?
And Oner gets so much value in this fight.
Beleza,
He's now 2-0
mano,
and 1 this game,
beleza.
but also steals the scuttle as he sets this one up. And that will be T1 getting picks right before this very critical second Herald to stop
Pra
the snowball
que
here
precisavam
of
desse
Genji,
Herald mesmo,
who
senão
the
ia perder o
competition
jogo,
already
mano.
scales so beautifully.
Ainda bem que
Yeah,
deu
this
certo
is
isso
the
aí.
time when T1 want to be getting these advantages as well, as we check out how this play went.
I'm gonna use Lehens to get in here.
Eles
then
mataram.
Deathguard
Eles
out
foi
after
pra
stealing
matar
that
o
away.
Aranguejo só, velho.
And
Nossa.
then the Yumi ult comes through
Ah, eu
with
ia
Faker,
perguntar
just
por que o
so
Faker não tou o
brilliantly
Ruler, mas
played.
ele
I mean, it's
tem
just that
carência
simple here
disso.
is Genji didn't realize how many members were grouped up in
Chinese.
this area.
Aí o
and the
flash,
control
nossa, o cara
ward
flash
allowed them to collapse in so
certinho, mano.
easily. And Faker
Caramba.
just
Deixa
keeps
eu
making.
voltar aqui rapidão, só pra eu garantir.
I mean, it's just that simple here is Genji didn't realize how many members were grouped up in this area.
Caraca,
and
ele
the
flashou
control ward allowed them to collapse in
certinho,
so
velho.
easily.
É muito difícil
On
acontecer.
its own with the right
Caraca,
composition,
velho.
feels strong into anything.
Yeah, it's
Um
it's
dos
starting to go
flashes mais
back
bonitos,
to, what
mas
was it, like
não tinha ouvido nada
2019,
dessa vez.
2018, the era of Fly, where he would just win every single game if he managed to get Lissandra, and then teams banded against him, and then they didn't win anything after that.
Similar to his Aurelion Soul era, but yeah.
Teleporte?
Rammus era.
Gente.
We heard about his
tem
mid lane
drag
Rammus. I never actually saw it.
Yeah, it was rumored to be
Nossa,
quite
pode
good.
perder mais
The
drag, né?
rumors were
Caraca.
potentially exaggerated.
Soltou o Arauto já?
Genji cannot fight
Ah, acho que é pra ter
this
ward.
without a package Chovy doesn't have. So unless there's a miracle
Se esse
steal
cara
that
roubar o
Phoenix
drag, eu
doesn't
sou
look for.
abacaxi.
Top Doran wants
Sou
to
macho.
commit.
Yeah, Doran's diving into the pit here as Oner is just going to smite it before the cast
Eu já
comes
sou uma
down.
vez,
But
não
at
tem
least
como
the
ser
cast
duas
hits
vezes.
a couple of people. That is
Suave.
back on the right track here. As T1 are going to usher this Rift Herald towards the turret.
Zeus
Peanut
morto
loves
low,
denying Rift Heralds.
Morto low,
He's
morto
going to
low.
be in position to do so yet again. Stun goes wide, and now T1, they're moving on in. Peanut's going to have to Heartbreaker away, and he is going to do so. Final chapter connects onto only the Tom Kench as Peanut is able to survive, but Shirley will be able to get a charge,
Nossa.
and that's the main thing. The team fighting
Que
force
isso,
of
velho? Que
T1 is
loucura.
now moving
Ai,
towards Doran. The
Chinese.
Q's going to connect, and Oner
Oh.
finds another one. The kickback onto Peanut,
Nossa,
right
mano.
into the Devour, but will the Tom Kench survive is the question. The answer is yes for now.
answer is
But
yes.
man, T1 are coming alive here in this mid-game.
Genji are making
Nice,
some really
mano.
unusual
Que
calls
bom.
here. They decided to try to contest this Drake, knowing that if they get
Caraca,
a smite
7-14,
steal,
mano.
not only do they get soul
Alguém deve
points,
tá
they buy
acordando aqui
additional
essas horas.
time, they prevent T1 from starting this
Espero
track of
que
getting
não
mountain
venha
after
até
mountain,
aqui me
which just
cobrar, mano.
obliterates their composition.
Grande
It
chance,
nullifies it completely. And
Se
then
eles for minha
they
mãe, eu vou
chase
ser
down
cobrado,
here to
com
try to
certeza. Mas
collapse
acho que não vai
on
ser.
this Rift Herald drop. Ezreal has teleport, so that's, you know, you're not going to be able to match that. As Corki, you're running cleanse. So
Caraca,
this whole
olha esse
fight, Chovy is
coragem
not
pra
here.
pular
Genji
nele.
are
Olha.
still trying to force it, knows that
Chinese.
Ezreal can come in and cannot be
Good.
interrupted. So two
Saiu
very
defense.
greedy calls that end up getting punished here. At least they're able to stop this Rift Herald from getting an additional charge. But T1 just has so much control. They are being decisive, whereas Genji are very slow on the play. Could have maybe seen a turret traded topside. Speaking of, now that they had to all back, the
build é essa
timing
do
here is great for
Meu
Zeus,
Deus
who
do
will
céu,
pick up
velho.
an additional turret, and he's got his
O
body
cara
charge,
realmente
Faker,
não
and
sabe
Carrier.
buildar.
Yeah.
Chovey's just having to wait for waves.
Absolutely is. T1 really picking up the pace of this game. They've claimed
Really
themselves
picking
the
up the
gold lead as
pace
well.
in
It's
this
just
game.
shy of 2,000. As Genji, we have to remember, you know,
Nossa,
scaling is
que
still
foi que-
absolutely a thing that we can talk about.
Nossa.
However, their time with
É
control
também,
of the map
por isso que
is
o Fake
now
desvia de tudo.
over.
Olha isso aí, que
Absolutely
box, velho. Que
2,000.
mentira.
As Genji,
Oi.
we have
Tá
to
bom.
remember, you know, scaling
Beleza.
is
Doran is pushing bot and does have teleport, so can come over here defensively onto this very turret. He's going to make that call.
Yeah, it's going to
Teleport.
teleport in. T1 are going to back away and respect it. I thought maybe they could
Quem
rush
vai
it
teleportar
down
o
and then
cara?
deny the teleport as well, but then did not have quite enough damage in order to do so.
And it's going to cost Doran that turret on the bottom side, this pressure here from T1. Can they get out? I think the answer is yes.
Yep,
The
Laurent
answer is
cooldown.
yes.
Zayas here in the side lane. As Oner, of course, is going to be able to steal away the blue buff. His Lee Sin smite's better than any other champion in
Mano,
the
régua aí,
history
ó,
of
do
the game.
lado do
I mean, his Lee Sin just might be better than anyone's champions across the board. Every player in the LCK has just been so good at this pick across so many metas.
Peanut possibly caught out of position here. Does have his ulti available. He's going to use it. Faker didn't have to ult or anything like that. That was just a Circle of Frost.
And the one thing Genji had going for them before this was that Doran was getting bottom push there in the side lane and almost started to put the real pressure on that inner turret. Would have been some extra gold for Genji. But that push mid pulled him out, lost him his teleport, can't go over there in side lane. Now those minions are so far away, so he's really struggling to actually do anything cross map here. So T1 are pushing the edge all the way to this Baron spawn and the subsequent now Mountain Drake that's spawned here. Again, it feels like time has flown in these last 3.5 minutes since T1 got the last one. But they just took so much control over the map without a Baron. It almost looked like Baron levels of control with how deep they were into Genji's jungle. And they've basically just said, all right, we're just timing this out to the next fight, which you guys are still not ready for. Your items are not quite online. Notice the build here for Chovy. He's deviated for a little bit more wave clear. He's got the TM here, but he's so far away from that Ludens. He so desperately needs to really strike hard.
Yeah, it doesn't actually have that one online yet. We often see that as the second option that wants to make sure that he can get through these mini waves as quickly as possible and then come over and assist his team. And I can see the logic in it.
Yeah, I do too, and you know, this is a very Chovy move, right? He's like, well, I need to be like Flame Horizoning Faker this game so I can get those items online, because I'm not going to get them in team fights. I'm not getting gold in 5v5. I'm getting it in the side lane.
Yeah. Well, he is doing it right now, moving towards this outer turret on the top side of the map.
And he's got a lot of vision to escort him here, knows all the line of wards here, really put one over the wall there, so he knows just when he needs to get out.
Yeah.
Que isso, véi?
He's 2 levels up on Faker, that's how much side lane he's doing. His whole job has been, give me the money.
Yeah.
Because I'm not functioning in team fights, we have no vision for that.
Okay, maybe it's just like don't get Illudens and still do bajillions of damage. Maybe that's the strategy.
They could potentially collapse on and kill Faker here. They don't have the ability to deny his back.
You can see Genji don't care about Drakes though. This second mountain will go down. So what you prophesized earlier on, Wolf, with the quad mountain soul is a potential reality here for T1, and that would mean that Chovy's gonna need even more side lane farm.
Toda vez que você fala brincadeira, ele começa a dar risada.
And we've almost gotten to a place in this game now with Genji picking up all this gold topside to where this game is dead even again because of the scaling aspects of Genji's draft. Now T1 2 ticks closer to Doomsday clock though with those 2 Mountain Drakes that are left, because if they get a 4 Mountain Drake Mountain Soul, it is basically unwinnable here for Genji. They will do nothing with Senna's very limited damage.
Meu coração não aguenta esses negócios não.
Dodged by shields and all of the extra resistance.
O jogo da T1. Mano, quem que é o coach que dá os champ pra eles? Ou é eles mesmo que decidem os champ?
Acho que é eles junto com o treinador, mas tipo... Eu não sei quanto de influência tem um treinador e quanto de influência tem um jogador, né? Mas dizem que é os dois. Mas é só pique de maluco, velho. Até um não sabe draftar direito, não. Todo mundo fala que tem pega uns tipos meio doideira. Caraca, vai chutar o... Pegou... Nossa, 897 esse match do cara. Caramba. Tudo vivo? Tudo vivo? Tudo vivo? Oh, tio! Nossa, mas também o time deles é muito fácil de sair, velho. Meu Deus. Todo mundo tem uma skill de sair. Fizeram o bar e foram embora, velho. Nossa, cirúrgico.
Control ward vision on both sides of the
I'm calling Lyric up to this.
Cirúrgico, mano. Ah, que caras bons. Eles metem o louco também.
Rush and the entry point there to the south, covered by wards, and they had a Gnar with bar available. Genji have to take this extremely roundabout path to come in. They even don't know the timing of this, so Ruler has to ult to see where the Baron's at. That's their only real, angle to get vision. And by the time Genji come over, Doran has a nice teleport angle for the cast, but T1 have so much mobility with Claw,
perdeu a catapa
with
também, meu Deus. Já foi duas já, catapa perdida.
Very free escape here for T1. They have the damage to back this up. This is
ainda falam que não posso substituir a Flex das estrelas, não pode substituir esses caras. Nossa, o Flex só tem um cara que é a catapa.
Nem imagino o que.
Out of the pit, just Arcane shift south, and he's Corki
É só
Rockets
até hoje o
need
Luizão,
time
aqueles
to
caras
do that
têm
damage
top lane.
long term. T1 is get to escape. Now T1's control of the map is uncrackable.
Absolutely. Gumiushi going to move away from this inner turret, but it is still going to go down. The Baroned up minions going
Ai,
to be
velho,
enough
acaba
there.
logo
The
esse
base
jogo
not
antes que o
broken
Cork
just yet.
faça
Peanut
estrago,
taking
velho.
so
Meu
much
Deus.
damage here
O Cork tá
from
prestes
the
a dar um
one-man
pau em todo
poke
mundo.
unit that is Gumiushi. And Chovy, yeah, can't get through these Baron minions quite as
É
effectively.
muito justo, né, o
As he
dano
does
desse
have a
champion, não,
package,
velho.
so he's relatively safe standing over
Eu
here,
já
but
curso
not
às
against
vezes
4
ainda.
members. And T1 will take that inner turret
muito
as
justo,
well.
não.
Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Doran does have that wave pushed out. And T1 not looking like they're confident enough to start sieging inhibitors just yet.
This is such a great game for T1, knowing their win conditions, knowing how much power this Baron is going to give them. It's going to delete, again, a lot of that time towards this next Drake, which they so desperately want to not only take, but actually win a subsequent fight for. T1 got the Baron and then got out. I think now they're going to need to win a decisive team fight with the gold the Baron gives them, the map control it gives them.
Nossa senhora, velho, para.
He's not missing. It's just not a thing he really does on this pick.
No, he's doing pretty well.
And he's getting closer to Ludens finally. He's actually building the item now.
Yeah. Last chapter is complete. Teleport to come through from Faker. Let's see who he's going to be able to find.
Que teleporte é esse?
Chovy is over here. There is a
Nossa,
big
quase
boop into
morreu
the
já,
wall
velho.
as
Morto
Faker is
low.
just going to claw his way out. He's like, well, I tried.
Olha o teleporte do cara,
And
velho.
he's going
Meu
to
Deus.
suffer a fair bit as far as health bar, but
Tá
otherwise
bem
not too
mesmo.
much to worry about as they just tidy up that wave, and Zoomies are going to be there to get Faker's health bar back again.
Zoomies. É Zoomies mesmo, né? O nome da skill, velho. Nossa. Opa,
Opa,
achou régua. Nossa, ele tá 16. Caraca, velho. Cara, tá
They really do
enorme.
want to try and protect this one. Remember, there is no Baron. This is just T1 straight up sieging.
Yeah, Jovi, the fact that he took cleanse means it's so awkward for him in these timings that T1 could just buy like 30 more seconds of time with this 5-man push. Jovi can't just go grab package and teleport in. He has to actually make a call to go back for it, and that's going to be so much wave clear they lose in that
Verdade,
moment.
Chovy não trouxe
Yeah,
TP,
kind
não
of
tem
stuck
muito como
down
ele
here.
pegar
This is so
pacote
well
da
played by
TP.
T1. They're just trying
Tem
to
que sair
time him
andando
out.
depois.
He's out of rockets, and he needs to go home and get that package for this fight.
True Shot Barrage, so much value here as
Tá sem,
well.
tá sem
As they at least
foguete.
do have a fair bit of wave clear. Of course, this is
Nossa,
also
toma
a
balaço,
Gragas who does a
Forte.
fair bit of work to the minions
Drag dos
when they're
caras.
not baroned up. So,
Now
they're
it's
now
T1.
going to have a little bit of respite as they wait for a minion wave.
This is just so perfectly timed.
Oh,
Peanut
yeah,
can't get in.
Peanut just going to get completely altered
Ooh.
to oblivion. He does get devoured,
Vivaça.
but that is a very long way away from this
Moleque do
Drake. That is just
Pera
going to
aí.
be... He does
Perfectly timed.
Oh,
Peanut
yeah,
can't
Nossa,
get
olha
in.
o que ele está
Just gonna
assim,
get
velho.
completely altered to
Nossa, ele
oblivion.
chutava de
He
rio.
does get devoured,
Ah,
but
se ele
that is
chutava de rio, certeza,
There
velho.
is just no way that,
Que
that
frango.
hit onto him with the Mystic Shot.
Já ganhou o Major um
caused
cara
him to
desse,
go
velho.
back, and that's the moment where
Nossa.
T1, as the Drake
É
spawns,
brincadeira uma
fades
coisa desse.
away back to take it for free, resets and grabs
Olha o
items.
BTV.
Yeah,
Eu escutei, hein?
It's,
Vazou o
it's not the
BTV aí,
jury
ó.
duty package.
No.
Vazou o
Which is
BTV aí na sua
definitely not
casa
what
aí.
you want to see.
Exatamente, mano. Mano, pior que, tipo, quando você vai na piscina aqui na minha casa, tem muito bem TV lá.
It's a tanky catfish who
Aqui
is
nem
going to have
tem
so
muito,
much
velho.
reach, and
Tem,
he's going to
quer
be able
dizer,
to,
tem
you know,
pouco.
block a lot of these
mentir,
mystic
mas-
shots now, which is quite helpful.
Acho que é por causa da obra, na real. Senão eu já tinha um monte aqui, velho, eu acho. Sei lá. Esses caras ficam quebrando tudo aqui, velho. Não aguento mais. Não sei nem como não começaram hoje ainda. O pedreiro começa os trampos 6h30, né? Sei lá, velho. Os caras trabalham. Ave Maria.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's
7h25,
Night
velho.
Harvester Gragas, but he's not
Pô,
really
esses
gonna
caras
be
então
doing a
meio.
lot either. I mean,
Tô
look at how
ligado, hein,
much
mano. Os
these
caras.
three mountains stack.
Ah, filho, os caras vão acordar 2h30 da manhã. 2h30, pera, 2h30 da tarde.
2h30 da manhã. Acordar 2h30 da manhã tá bom, hein, mano.
Acordar 2h30 tá bom? Nossa senhora, se eu acordo 2h30, eu acho que eu tô tendo um derrame.
Aí, foguete. Os malucos, mano, trabalham demais, velho. Não sei como que não estão aqui ainda, velho. Os caras. Pedreiro é uma profissão de respeito, mano.
And they
É
can
uma
start it
profissão de
base fit
respeito.
anytime once it
Cara-
is spawned, because they have wave control here in mid. They have all the
Os caras
prio
metem
they
marcha.
could ever want.
Well, I
Faker
mean,
doesn't have smite, but I mean that's the only
Ele
thing
faz
missing.
barulho.
but he can go back and get it
Yep.
at any stage. He's got Ghost
Ele faz
available as
barulho, não
well as his
aguento mais,
Flash.
velho.
And Gen G finally find themselves some access to this river as Faker he'll just walk his
Faz
way
os
out of
bait
here.
This is
vídeo.
really important vision now for the setup here. You can delay the return
abri a
of
janela
T1
aqui.
to the Baron pit.
Abri a
Eu
janela.
não sei onde ele ficou, acho que ele tá voando, pô.
Nossa, me arrependi de abrir a janela. Tomei um flashbang aqui.
Nossa,
Nossa, fiquei Caraca, velho, acabou de ficar cego agora. Dei de cara no sol, de cara.
Possibly in
Nossa.
trouble as Ona, yeah, he was thinking about it. He saw him move towards him as that prowling projectile landed. But remember, there is still a Devourer available.
Ah, mano, os caras não vão clipar barulho de novo, não, velho.
This time it's
Vai
going to
barulho
miss,
não,
of
pelo
course,
amor
an
de Deus.
invisible
Tem que
target
entregar
there
pra
as
Soca.
Jovi going to Valkyrie his way out. He's got a blue buff.
Zeus is losing his
entregar
Narbar
pra
here,
Soca.
so they won't have the same choke point lock.
Pegou level 16.
Yeah,
Nossa,
yeah.
quase morto lá, o Senna.
Caraca.
Caraca. Ah, agora eles zombaram, legal. Mio Senna é igual a Vamos Baron. Ah, mano. O cara já tá full life, não faz Baron não.
Yeah, Dawning Shadow flies
Meu
through, but
Deus,
the
eles vão
Zoomies
fazer Baron.
keep Gumi
Meu
Yushi
Deus, eles querem
completely
entregar a
happy.
brincadeira.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage. Faker looking for
Faker tá
that
com
flank
tudo bom,
angle.
pelo menos.
And he is so important
Isso,
for this one.
nossa,
Just
meu
gonna
Deus.
dive on forward.
Matou o
Gumi
Gumayushi,
Yushi's
perdemos.
just obliterated. And the
Perdemos!
fight may be over before
Eba!
it's even
Nossa,
started
que
as
merda,
Zeus is
cara.
trying
Meu
to be a
Deus.
hero. But Peanut dives towards this Baron. He knows exactly
Perdemos
what he
total.
wants of this situation.
É, sim.
As
Eu
Zeus,
não
he does
acredito.
have the Mega Gnar available.
Ele
Belly
tá
button
grande
comes
pelo menos
down.
o Nar ali, ó.
Faker's still
Será?
got a fair bit of damage. They are going to respect
Oh, pera aí,
the
calma aí,
Mega
eles não vão
Gnar
fazer
who
Baron?
wallops the
Que isso?
Doran, and
Que
Doran's
isso?
gonna be taken
Gente,
down.
o que tá
This
acontecendo?
is huge if T1 can actually win this as Chovy going to try and cleanse himself. Owner is chasing after the Corki
O
and
quê?
will take him down.
Ah, não, não,
He
não, não.
goes
Eles ganharam essa
golden as
fight,
well
velho.
as
Nem
this
foi.
Cat
Ó, o Vinicius pingou a gente no chat.
Oh my god, T1, how did you do it?
Mano,
The Abyssal
que
Dive
é
is
isso?
not even going to be enough as he tries to
Moleque.
teleport,
Ela tomou.
but it does
Nossa
not work.
senhora!
That's
Velho, você
it,
tá
and
falando que
T1
eles
are
é
just gonna
ruim,
look
cara.
at the game.
They will just push it down.
Olha que caras os
Unbelievable
caras
turn
fez
after
aqui.
Doran
Meu Deus.
deletes the 80 carry. It doesn't matter. In a 4v5
T1.
fight, T1 do not care. They play it better. They play around Zeus. The Gnar
Meu
priority
Deus,
for
que
this
foi
player
isso,
on
cara?
his
Ganharam,
best
acabou.
season ever
Não
is
falei que a
just
gente
well-deserved
ganhou,
as
velho?
this guy
Eu falei.
comes
Nossa,
to win
vambora.
the
Ainda bem que eu não fui dormir.
clean team fighting until the
Nossa,
end.
cara, que
Deixa eu
And they will
twittar.
win this
velho.
series tonight.
Yeah, Doran trying to do what he
Nossa,
can,
mano.
but there is a naked Nexus, and T1 will destroy
Caraca,
it
mano.
and get their revenge. And Gen G will suffer their
Meu Deus,
first
velho,
loss
que caras
of the
bons,
summer season. And
Faker.
Faker picks
Cara,
up
nossa,
his
olha lá.
500th
Não sei nem como é que fala isso,
win
velho.
here in the LCK.
Quin,
He has
não é
the most
50ª,
fights,
porque
gigantic
50ª é
margin.
50. Como é que é
Death took that small
quintésima,
time
será?
in the
Não, né?
LPL, but he is
É.
129
O cara já
behind.
ganhou 500 partidas já.
Unkillable Demon
na
team,
LCK.
who tonight had so many great games of
A gente não tem nem 500
Lissandra.
partidas
Those
na
two
vida.
games,
Mentira, eu
great
tenho.
games 2 and 3,
Muito mais.
shaped so
Muitos
many
bem.
of the
Como
team
se
fights around
pesquisa?
versus Gnar.
Ah,
Como se fala?